Hey everyone, I'm here with my brother John, and we've been getting a lot of questions here lately on how to properly insure a short-term rental property. And with so much activity going on here in town, with more apartments and condos, and the city allowing sites like Airbnb and VRBO, we thought it would be a good time to explain a little bit about the process and how to properly insure these properties. John's been kind of diving into this subject and helping a bunch of our customers with their properties, and wanted to kind of ask a few questions so that you might learn and have something in your back pocket when you do decide that if you want to take on a short-term rental. What is the best way to insure a property or space that somebody might have that they've owned, and how might they go about doing that?
Yeah, so a lot of we've been getting a lot of questions here recently on folks with their homeowners insurance and saying, "Hey, John, every now and again we rent out our house. Does my homeowners policy cover that?" And typically all homeowners policies, there's a business exclusion on there. And so any kind of business related practice or operations, you could be rightfully denied. If
you were to have a claim.
Yeah, if you were to have a claim, if you were, for instance, you had a couple guests that weekend, and one of them slipped down the stairs, or stole some property, your favorite TV, your favorite couch,
damaged property.
Yeah, your homeowner's carrier just might not cover that.
Yeah,
and so
because renting out your house through a short-term rental website or any other method constitutes a business activity, which is excluded through most homeowners policies.
Absolutely, it's kind of like a hotel.
So explain what they need to do to get properly insured.
Yeah,
whether it's a separate second property that they own, or their own property that they're renting out, or
right. That's a good question. So if it's a secondary property, it's a house that you don't live in, you rent out. In the past few years, it's been a long-term rental. Well, these folks need is business liability. It is a business policy, like what we were talking about before. So you're gonna have you're gonna have content. You can have the actual dwelling or the building value to be insured for. Also business income. So, those are a few of the measures and the things that these folks need in terms of coverages.
What do they do if it's their primary residence, they are renting out space in that house, whether it's a whole house or just a room? Do you have two policies, or do you just have one?
There is a product out there for these homeowners policies that you're typically paying for. You're like, well, John, I've got a homeowner's policy. I don't need a short-term rental. But if it's your primary residence, you're renting it out quite often, you can switch that over to this business insurance policy that we've got. It's still going to be in your name. You don't need a corporation set up. You don't need an LLC.
Right. Yeah.
So
they need to explore and talk with their current insurance company to see how it would be covered. But most of the time, you're probably going to need a new policy to cover that. Even if it's just you're doing it like one time or a couple times, because that one time there could be a claim and it could be denied because of the exclusion under a homeowner's policy.
That's exactly right.
What's kind of the best way to go about getting a short-term rental policy? Should they reach out to you? And what would you recommend?
Best way to do it is just call our office. You can ask for me. You can ask for Keith Davis.
Yeah.
either of us would be more than happy to help you in getting that policy set up correctly.
Tell us about because there's only a few companies that will write these policies.
There are
Right.
there are not many. There are not many companies at all, and you know, some companies might add on a rider. That might be your first approach with whoever handles your insurance currently, is to check with them and say, hey, look, is there an endorsement or a policy change rider that will cover us in the event of us possibly renting out our house on short-term rental.
Yeah.
So
The safest thing to do is talk to your carrier, talk to your agent before you proceed with renting out your property or space, just to make sure. There have been a lot of people that aren't aware that they need a separate policy for any of this activity. Let us know how we can help you with your short-term rental policy. John's been knocking out these for a while now, and I'd love to see what we can do. Thanks, John.
thanks, guys.